Hello, Teen Wolf fans. Tonight we're discussing Season 6, Episode 14, Face-to-Faceless, with special guest Khylin Rhambo. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, I like this beat. Khylin picked this.
Vibes.
This is a good song.
Yeah, this is great. Well, here we are. We're discussing Season 6, Episode 14, Face-to-Faceless with Mason. Khylin Rhambo, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me back.
Yeah, we love when you come to visit.
This is like my new favorite place.
We'd love to hear that. You guys, you know I'm Kristen Elizabeth Snyder. You can follow me at Cinematic Escape. And I have my lovely co-host Alana Jordan with us.
Hey, I'm Elena Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan.
And Khylin, I know everyone's already following you, but where can they find you in case they're not?
Real simple, Khylin Rhambo on Twitter, and then the same thing for Instagram, because I'm a simpleton.
I love
So you
that.
keep it.
You were smart to make yours the same.
Yeah, it's just very easy.
Mine's two different
It's
things.
easy enough for your grandma to find me.
Ow.
That's my motto.
Ooh.
I like that.
And they do. And they do.
Yeah,
They
sure.
do.
They do. I guess.
If you guys have a question for Khylin, we have the lines open at numbers 424-256-1729. Give us a call.
Give us a ring.
Yeah. I'm going to start out with a question from Johan from Florida.
Cool.
Johan asks, when you first initially got your script for Mason, what sort of intrigued you about his character? And I'm going to add on to that and say, did you think you were going to be supernatural?
Oh, man. Okay, so the first time I got the script for Mason, I actually, because I auditioned, they gave me the sides for actually Stiles.
Really?
And I just knew, I knew I wasn't going to be Stiles, but I thought it was going to be a character very similar to him. And they gave me kind of the rundown, and Mason was like a lacrosse player and like originally written like something completely different. But once I got the script, I feel like I still was learning him because there wasn't a lot I had to work with yet. I think when I found out how smart he was, that's when I was like, wow, this is actually really cool because I see his purpose now. I see that he actually is like a character with depth, and he's comedic, and so that's when I really liked him, when I got to like find out stuff about him. But what was the second part of it?
Did you think you were ever going to become supernatural?
Yeah, I always wanted to. Like, I remember that was like my inner dream, or either that or like get like really hurt by one.
You were like the villain one season.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
It was like hiding in you.
Once that happened, like I was so excited. Like I was like, oh, this is the coolest job. Because I mean, even though like I was like murdering kids and women and stuff, it still was like it wasn't me.
You, though.
It wasn't me. Yeah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Wasn't me.
Exactly. She got it.
I got your Shaggy reference.
I wish there was more. Like I really wanted to put the teeth in. And like, cause when I see Dylan do that, it honestly is one of the cool. It makes me really love my job because he turns into an actual animal. He's not my friend anymore. He's really like a werewolf, and I was like, I want to do that somehow.
Well, you kept him from doing that this episode.
Yeah, I tried.
You were
Kinda
such
succeeded.
a great friend.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mason's awesome.
I feel like a lot of teenagers at home can kind of feel the way Liam did this episode. He woke up, didn't want to go to school because he knew everyone was going to be talking about him and kind of avoiding him. And I feel like we all have felt like we've been in those shoes and in those situations before where like, whether there was a pimple on our face or we were getting in a fight with our only friend at school, like there was a reason we did not want to go to school and be like the center of attention.
Definitely.
And so I really felt that.
Yeah, they do such a great job of kind of making the metaphorical monsters that you have as a teenager.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing them to life and making actual physical representations.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I actually can see the same thing. I think that's why a lot of teens can gravitate towards it because it's not just like, you know, werewolves killing other werewolves.
Right.
It's there's things that they can truly relate to. And that's what I really like about the story because it can bring something that's so unrealistic, but you can actually relate to it to makes it real because you relate to the characters in such a way that you forget that this is even just fantasy. It kind of just you accept it as like a reality. It's really cool.
But apparently this season Beacon Hills is not accepting it anymore.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like I think they are finding out of what's been around for so long. How are they just now finding out? That's what I
But I
keep
think this
harkening
was
back to that girl jumping up on her chair with all the rats at the beginning of the season. It's like, why does this keep happening to our school? And I'm like, why have they not been asking that since season 1?
I mean, you know how many kids have died in Beacon Hills, like high school? Like, the death ratio is crazy.
I feel like whoever, and it was probably Jeff, came up with this as like the final season. I mean, he knew what he was doing, because a lot of shows, they are oblivious to like the magic, and they kind of forget about the townspeople, and they just let the audience pretend like they're not there. But the fact that he's now saying, hey, we didn't forget about all the people in the town that have gone through all this, and we're going to actually show them coming back and how they were feeling all this time.
That's really
In this episode, Liam even says, he's like, I'm supposed to pretend, like I'm just supposed to keep pretending.
Yeah.
And so we get like the mirror held up where it's like, okay, they can't pretend anymore.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
everyone knows what's up.
Yeah, and I think that's the really cool thing. Like it's kind of relevant. There's like a division that is forming, and I think it's relating to a lot of things, and that's one of the things I think is really cool about the show, is that they're banding together, and they have to unify. You can't, if we all get divided, then it's over. So I think, and also it's also a really cool thing to see how people respond to fear. You know, someone being different than them.
Yeah, when we're talking about Face-to-Faceless, in that initial scene, where was it his name? It was Aaron who put the spiders, in the mouth.
The spiders into the faceless creature.
Being.
That was crazy.
That
Reading that was like, whoa, what?
I can't imagine reading it and then seeing it come to life on the page.
Yeah, it was crazy. I saw it like as it was originally like coming in. I went behind the scenes, and while they were editing it, and I was like, dude, these guys are crazy. Like this is trippy. It was
how did
really
they
cool.
do that? Was it all CGI?
I don't know exactly how they did it, but there was a lot of CGI. Yeah, there was no real spiders.
Yeah, like it had to all be CGI.
Yeah, it was all CGI, but I just don't know how they did it.
It looks so real. It's so good.
It's cool.
And I want to know who the faceless being is.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're ever gonna see his face, but like someone's playing the faceless being on Teen
I know
Wolf.
the guy.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Has he been on it before as a different villain? No, he's just like a stunt guy.
No, he is Tyler Posey's stand-in.
That's hilarious.
Schnabel. Shout out to Schnabel.
Yeah, shout out to you.
So they're like, hey man, we're gonna show you on screen now.
Yeah.
You don't have a face. And he's like, what?
He was down. Like it was the smelliest costume ever.
You got in it once?
No, I didn't get in it. That's how disgusting it smelled. Like if you know he's around, like you can just smell the air and you're like, oh yeah, he's over there.
That's kind of
The
how
smell of fear.
Exactly.
Yes. We now know how fear smells.
It wasn't hard to act around that. Like it was actually kind of like it was disgusting. I was
so
just
fear smells
imagine,
like an intense costume.
Yeah, it smells like just actual vomit and death.
No, thank you.
Why would they make his costume out of vomit and death?
I don't think it was on purpose. It couldn't have been on purpose.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty good costume.
That would have been the worst thing if they did
They're
it
like,
on
we
purpose.
had some mesh and some latex, but we went with vomit and death.
Yeah, because it was like slimy too. Like they actually put some slime on it, and maybe that's. I don't want to talk about it.
I love the practical effects on this show too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they do.
Let's
we have a
take
caller.
it. Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Julianne in Texas.
Jillian.
Hey, Julianne.
Did you
Miss
have a
Texan.
question for Khylin?
Oh.
She sounds excited.
What
Yeah,
is this?
I'm excited.
Yeah. What are your favorite memories of working on Teen Wolf? Like one of the best.
Okay. I think, it's not, I can't really pick one, but one of the things that I love to do on set is when we're all having lunch and everyone is like really relaxed and everyone goes back to the trailer and we just all hang out. I brought my Xbox, like Dylan brings a skateboard, we bring like guitars, and like everyone just had, it's not even like work. It's just like being like, having recess like on school at school.
I love that.
It's awesome.
You're playing high schoolers and you have like your own free period.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's my favorite. Just being with the friends, yeah. The fam.
Love it. Julian, did you have one more question?
I
love her. She's so sweet.
Well, how's your day going?
Yeah, tell us about the day in the life of Khylin Rhambo. You know what, Julian? I love that question.
The day in the life of Khylin. My day is going good. I don't do much. I read.
I don't believe you.
I watched The Defenders on Netflix. And yeah, I skateboarded here.
Wow.
I listen to music very loudly all the time. Yeah, but my day's been good. That's kind of what you'll catch me doing.
I love
every
that.
day.
It sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
Great to hear.
Well, Julian, thanks so much for your support of our show and for Khylin and
Yes,
Teen
thank you,
Wolf. Thanks
Julian.
for calling in and have a great
Do you want to
night.
howl for us
Yeah,
before
can
you
you howl?
go?
Kylan's howling with you.
I did like a puppy
He's doing
one.
it with
you. Can do like a tiny puppy one, like you're a baby wolf.
Can he do it with me?
Yeah.
I'll do it with you. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Amazing.
Good one.
Thanks so much, Julian.
Nice. Julian.
Have a good night.
What'd
She said I
I love you too, Julian.
I love it. I love the team of fans are like some of the best fans I've
they're
ever
so cool.
talked to.
Awesome.
I got like a fan book for the first time ever. And
Well, tell us about it.
It
What's
was
in
awesome.
it?
We went to France, and there was a convention out there. And like when I got off the airport, as soon as I landed, there was people there, and I didn't expect that at all. And they were awesome. They're just so nice. They loved the show. And when I got to the convention, there was like this girl that gave me a book, and in the book is like different fans from like all across Europe have one letter. Like it says like MASON, and like it's like 13 girls. Like it's awesome. And they write all these cool things, like tweets and just.
That is so
awesome.
sweet. We have another caller. Are they still there? Okay, caller, what's your name? Where are you from? Call back in, guys. I'm sorry. We just missed you. Call back in. Okay, so I want to talk about the episode a little bit more. So we have you as sort of Liam's protector, but there's so many people trying to keep you from him and like not be there for him this episode. Yeah. But you were such a good friend to him, and I'm sure that was so hard watching him get hurt again and again. And you were like, you know, it's not that bad, but we know Liam, he's a werewolf, so he can hear everything people are saying.
Yeah,
I think our
caller's back. Caller, what's your name? Where are you from? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you from? Not there? Okay. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
Kalante from Florida.
Kalante from Florida. I think you may have called last time you were here. I don't know.
I've never got a phone.
You did? Nice.
Kalante, what's your question for Khylin?
Okay, I have 2 questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, the first question is, because, I didn't get to watch the episode of She-Hulk tonight because I'm stuck at work, unfortunately.
Oh, all good.
No problem.
Recorded.
We're
I
gonna
just want
spoil
to
it
know,
for
are
you.
there any more Mason and Corey scenes that I can look forward to romantically?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, it's gonna be different vibe than it was originally, because before Mason and Corey didn't have too many worries. They just had each other and got to focus on that. But as far as Beacon Hills, the condition of Beacon Hills is gonna be a lot difficult to have that, but they still have that connection, of course. But yeah, you do get to see that, but it's a different. You know, the stakes are very high right now.
Love it. Glad we get to see more of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
And do you have another question?
Yes, Khylin, can you explain to me why you so fine?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know. Man, you got my mom maybe, or
yeah. Let's take shout out to the moms.
Shout outs to moms.
Yeah, everywhere for making those babies beautiful.
Thanks.
If we start sweating through the show, it's not because our AC is busted. It's because Kylan's here.
Because Kylan's in the house.
Heating up the whole room.
I would be blushing.
Yeah. There's some sweat coming off my face. Real hot over here. Kalante, thank you so much for calling in and for your support. Can we get a howl from you? Oh, yeah! That was a good one. All right, good night, Kalante. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye. I love his questions.
These are awesome.
So sweet.
Corey and Mason are probably my favorite couple, I think, on the show, just because they always have each other's backs.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
there's never any drama.
And I also like how much Mason just thinks it's so cool to have someone that has supernatural powers. Like, imagine that. Like, the person you're dating has powers, like superpowers. That's cool.
Yes,
like
please.
A couple seasons ago where something was like, I'm invisible, but you're the one who can really see me or something. I was like, feels.
That was very feelsy.
All right, we'll take it.
The feels.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Jesselyn, and I'm from Texas.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for calling in. Do you have a question for Khylin?
Yes.
Go ahead.
What's up?
Do you have a question?
She's making us wait for it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, ask your question.
Can you wait 1 second, please?
Can we wait a second?
We're just gonna edit this. Just kidding. Just kidding. This is a live show, so whenever you think of it, I'll ask you a question while we wait. I want to know. You know, it's ending. The show's ending.
Yeah.
We're all hoping for a spin-off.
That would be the dopest thing ever.
And it's obviously going to be with you and Liam and like the younger group.
That would be the plan. That'd be cool.
Would you be? You're on for that if it comes around?
Of course. I feel like there's still more Mason to explore. And
Absolutely.
And definitely more Liam to explore. I actually really like his character as well.
Yeah.
I think the show should keep going. Young adult wolf.
Yeah, young adolescent wolf.
Okay, we'll take another call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
Oh, hi. My name is Eisman. I'm from Georgia.
What's up, Eisman?
Hey.
Go ahead with your question, Eisman. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks. Well, I guess my question would be is, I guess, is this creature the scariest one you ever faced so far?
Do you mean me personally, or like?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I actually think the Dread Doctors were more scary.
Really scary.
Because when I was filming, I was running away from them in the sewers, and like they were calling my name. I was really imagining that, and I was imagining because they kind of like teleport and have the whole Jason vibe. So that was honestly really scary. Like when they have a presence, because all the actors that play them are like 6.5 foot tall.
Wow.
So they're tall, lanky guys. I think the Dread Doctors were the scariest.
Even scarier than fear itself.
Even scarier, not probably right at fear.
Giving fear a face.
Faceless was actually scary. It just stunk too bad to be scared of it.
Faceless. That's what we're calling. Thank you, Isman, for calling in. Do you want to give us a howl?
Okay.
That's awesome. I love that they do it. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for all your support.
Thanks,
Have a great night.
Thanks.
All right. I love these callers. They call in even when you're not here, they do, but I feel like they're so excited. I mean, obviously, some of them can't even talk. They're so excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hear you on the line. And I'm sorry about the call earlier, Jesplin, or I'm not sure. I think we just lost your connection. So sorry. We didn't mean to cut you off in your question, but you can tweet at us or try calling again. But yeah, let's talk about Liam.
Oh.
Should we try it?
Hey.
Okay, caller, what's your
there.
name? Where are you from? Go ahead.
Hi.
Are you back?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
Khylin
back.
from Louisiana.
Hey.
Go ahead with your question.
I have a question for Khylin.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
It's okay. We're nervous too. Are you kidding? We're in studio with this man.
So nervous. I'm nervous.
Go ahead.
How do you think Mason would deal with the knowledge of all the people he killed?
Oh,
When he was a baby.
Wow, that's a really good
Like,
question.
would he be guilty? Would he feel guilty? Sorry.
I think, you know what? First of all, you get the best question of the year
Yeah.
award because I actually thought of this a lot. I actually wanted that to happen in 6B. I wanted him to find out like truly what happened and maybe have that guiltiness. And I thought that was going to be cool to have like a cool arc to Mason to see him.
Definitely.
Because he's always been like the sunshine roses, like it's all good.
Yeah.
I would like to see him like, oh wow, like this world is a lot different than I thought it was. But I got to have like some darker moments with the Faceless. But yeah, I think that would have been awesome. I think Mason, to answer your question, would be devastated if he really thought about what happened. He's such a good-hearted guy. I don't even think he's had a fight in his life other than like the supernatural guys. But yeah, he would have hated it. I'm glad you didn't see that. He probably would have hated life.
I agree. I agree.
Like, do you think he would understand more of the motives from the hunters if he knew?
That's another good question. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because a lot of those people got very hurt and they have rightful cause to want these guys out of there.
A lot of them were scared of the beast.
Exactly. It's partly my fault that the war's going on.
All your fault, actually. Jesplyn, thanks so much for calling in and have a great night. Thank you. Great questions. Good night. All right. let's get back to the show. I think we're
Yeah.
going to hold off on any calls for a couple of minutes so we can just dive into this episode.
So
Great, thanks. So, Liam, I mean, you were telling us that the shots that they even picked to show us, I mean, I felt like he was getting near death when they were beating him up. And he was just continuing to take it. And I'm
I thought
scared.
it was bad enough when they just voted him off of captain.
Yeah.
And then they go and beat him up. I'm like, this is a bit much.
He had a day.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with him stepping down from being captain? I mean, I thought that him stepping down, maybe that was him trying to make a peace treaty and be like, okay, you guys know that I could remain
I think it
captain.
was, but it's like, you guys know why you've been winning. It's because your captain is a werewolf.
Yeah.
Maybe don't have him not play any. Like,
They're
come
probably
on.
going to lose now, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why Beacon Hills was killing it.
Get out of here, humans.
But do you guys agree with his decision? Like,
Well, I think he had good intentions.
Right.
I don't think because after they're now scared of him and he's now the boss of them, I feel like it would have been an awkward thing.
right.
Especially if you're teammates. If you're a captain of a team that doesn't like you, then I think it's kind of hard to lead them.
Right.
But I think I would do the same thing. In this
I felt
situation.
like if Mason was in the locker room, I feel like you would have stopped him. From,
Mason definitely would have.
Yeah.
Mason definitely would have because he believes in his friend. He
Absolutely.
doesn't believe that his friend should step down. He's always seen him as like the pack leader. He's always
Right.
wanted him to be that. So
I
don't think-
wanted you in that scene. I was like waiting for you to come
that would
in.
have been
and-
dope. That would have been
You
dope.
were probably
Friggin'
in class
Nolan.
because you're like the
Yeah,
smart
I'm
one
super
who
smart.
actually
4.2.
goes.
That's
to
why I
class.
wore my periodic table dress today.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I actually peeped that. I was
hanging
like,
out.
that's
Thank
cool.
you. I only wear it periodically.
You're a genius.
Back to the
Kristen's like,
show.
she's not.
There
She's
you go.
not.
Great pun. That was a good one.
So let's talk about.
Punished.
You were telling us earlier about
Yeah.
Liam, how he looked even worse
Yeah.
than that, but then they went with the
Well, yeah.
shots where
He
didn't look near as bad.
It was really cool because I think they have variations because even with when Liam was like destroying Scott, there was so much more blood before. But of course they have like options. So one that's kind of really gory and less, and sometimes they go with like happy medium or less. But yeah, I remember watching the scene and he had like a whole bunch of blood in his mouth and he would like they had blood like right here and they would drip it and then start it so it can like start to like
Right.
drip down. And when he got hit, he spit and it was just like like blood all on the floor. And I was like, I hope they got that.
You got that shot.
It was crazy. Like, cause when I was like trying to actually like save him and they were holding me back, it was a real scene. Like it really felt like I was watching my friend get like hit. It was a violent experience. And I really wanted people to see that, not just because it's so violent, but just to see what Liam is willing to take. Like he's willing to sacrifice so much for the greater cause. And I think that's very mature for his character.
I just wanted to slap the teacher that was like,
Oh my
sometimes things
God.
just have to run their course. I'm like, hit her.
Yeah. Well, I feel like she was also scared of Liam as well, maybe, or there's
She
just
just made so many things worse where she's like, anybody wants to be friends with Liam? No, gonna call it out, point it out, make it really
Yeah,
awkward for him.
that's true.
The two people who have his back, sorry, not you. Liam, you're by yourself. Also,
Dude.
I'm gonna watch as everybody beat you.
That
Yeah,
was
like-
really hard.
Get better teachers, Beacon Hills.
I feel like they're
I get
out
it.
to
A lot
kill
of them
kids.
keep dying, but
when the teacher didn't do anything, that was the moment where it really was like so obvious to me and the viewer, I feel like, where we felt the pain of Liam and also being like, wow, this adult who is supposed to be a protector of the children in her classroom is now letting this happen.
Well,
and
yeah,
I was
all
It's
because of
definitely-
miscommunication too.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Yeah, because I feel like Liam definitely sensed how alone he was, and there's
Lone wolf.
yeah, and that's kind of sucks when, like you said, the teacher, someone who's supposed to be looking out for you, you realize like they don't have your back. You only have your family now, your pack. That's it.
I was glad that coach stepped in. At
Yeah,
least.
dude. Of course, coach is the realest.
Coach
You
is the
can't-
only one who like.
Coach is an OG. You can't like. Coach
I love
understands.
Coach.
He's
I mean,
the
I feel
best.
like, do you think that Coach knows that they're supernatural? Because it seemed
If
to
he
him
doesn't, he's on drugs. And that, or maybe both. He's probably already on drugs, but
Yeah.
I think
I
Coach.
feel like living at Beacon Hills, he has to be.
Yeah, dude. And do you see how he is? Like, he's so happy, like excited all the time.
I love
His team is
Coach,
full
but
of werewolves and they're winning.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
it It was just nice to see him come in and save the day because everyone loves Coach, and normally it's like a funny scene for him.
Yeah,
and for to see him be real.
Yeah.
And in this moment
Like,
really be there for his kids. And because I feel like there's a lot of moments like that where someone doesn't speak up and doesn't say, what is wrong with you guys? This is something very wrong happening. Yeah. And, you know, it's nice to see the funny guy, the one who you wouldn't think would take a situation seriously, be the one to, you know, stop that from happening. But I feel like that was such a hard scene because it really took me back to high school when people got picked on. And I never saw a fight quite like that, but... Thank God. But
I got shoved into lockers and cried. If anybody actually hit me, I would have been like, I'll never go back.
Yeah.
I hate that I laughed at that one. Sorry.
It's allowed.
Well, I can just imagine what that was like for you, though, not being able to help him. I'm sure you kind of wish you had, like, supernatural powers in that moment.
Yeah. I feel like Mason really sensed how helpless he was because that's all he wants to do. He wants to help the people he loves, and when he can't do that, it's like he feels purposeless, I feel. I think that was a struggle for Mason. Even me, like while I was playing that, if that really were to happen to me and I'm trying to get to a friend and I'm getting blocked and I have to watch and then the teacher says like, nothing you can do about it. Like, whoa,
unbelievable.
This is terrible.
And then we see Liam actually finds out and tells you that Monroe, the guidance counselor, is the new hunter.
Yeah.
And I was so glad he had that awkward moment where he confronted her about the scratches, saw the... I have a question about the book, though, for you guys.
That's
like, the supernatural afterlife.
That's what I'm like, okay, so...
Why was she reading that, and does she feel like there's a life for her after this, or... I don't understand why she was reading this, really.
It's got to have some significance that comes back later, but she also killed a hellhound, which we thought was impossible.
So maybe that's what she's looking at it for.
You know, if there's like, I would imagine the supernatural afterlife book would also be like, here's how you get the supernatural creatures to the afterlife. Here's how you usher them in.
And maybe some of them aren't in the afterlife yet. Maybe they can come back alive, like our hellhounds.
Because we thought Lori wasn't dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of characters in Teen Wolf, Beacon Hills, they come back. You know, so maybe she found out.
They're only mostly dead.
Yeah, kind of dead.
I feel like we got confirmation that Brett Talbot and Lori Lee are dead, right? They were married. Yeah. It wasn't quite clear last week. We thought maybe his sister
Lori
made
was still alive until they were like, they weren't killed in a car wreck, they were murdered. And I was like, oh, both of them. Sad.
Yeah.
And Cody St. New comes on the show a lot too. He's such a cool character. We're sad that they killed him.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. In the worst way too.
It's just let like, down easy.
Just
and like I feel like dying she liked that. I feel like she liked that power, and that's what I think is crazy. Have a guidance counselor that's sociopathic.
That's so misguided.
Well, we do get her background in this episode. You know, it was that you know she was under a pile of bodies. No one came from her. Stilinski found her, and then all the hunters that are behind her have lost someone. And I was thinking about it. I mean, if you were someone in Beacon Hills who lost, you know, a mom, a dad, a sister, would you be on this team of hunters hunting down the people who, in your mind, were responsible for it?
But that's why I love... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the scene with Lydia and Monroe I love so much because she's pointing out, you know, asking for coexistence. And she says that's, you know, coexistence breaks down when we highlight our differences. And so I think that's, you know, kind of a big thing too, and I love how just relevant to the whole state of the world that the show is on purpose. Too.
Jeff is awesome for that. It's really cool, and I think he's not doing it in a way that promotes negativity. He's going to promote. Everyone has to realize like what the consequences are when you behave in such an unnatural way. Like we're supposed to band together, but yeah, I think it's awesome how relevant it is because it's gonna have some really good positive messages. I feel that people are gonna see.
I absolutely agree with you, and he's the voice for the younger generation that's growing up in this world where we have so many contradictions of people and not, you know, we're not coexisting at the moment. We're barely coexisting. I feel like we're existing in separate parts of the world, but if you bring some parts of the world together, I feel like we're not quite there where we can coexist happily. So I'm glad that Jeff is sort of this voice to that younger generation, because I feel like the younger generation is going to be the generation that doesn't have like just the regular flaws that I feel like we're all experiencing at the current presidency.
Yeah.
Flat out saying like the way to avoid war is to talk things out and to discover that we're more alike than we are different.
Exactly. I was gonna bring that up, and I think it's really interesting. Like I looked at this while I was like near the end of the season. Once I got the full spectrum of what 6B was about, I got to see like if the hunters were to actually communicate with the people that they're hunting, like they would realize like, oh, these people had nothing to do with that we're actually on the same side. But it's like they vilify each other in their heads. Like maybe even some of the supernatural people, they have to, of course, they're being attacked, but the people that they're attacking back, they might just be like a dad that lost a daughter or something. You know, there's a story behind everyone. So I feel like you said, the best solution is connecting and not opposing each other.
Yeah, and I hope we get to that point.
Instead of just trapping them in the tunnels.
Yeah, right now we're in the tunnels trying to have a peace meeting.
Like,
but
jokes on you, Scott.
We were in those tunnels so often on set too.
Really?
Yeah, that was like.
Did they build those, or are those really underground, or like what is that set like?
It's actually really cool. Like it's on the ground, but they have like it's fake pipes and everything, but they have some pipes that have like powered steam things, like so you can pump out steam, but it's like all rigged up. And they have water on the ground and like fake mud. But yeah, it's not underground. They just have a really good set designer, like an amazing set. And I love that.
Rusty, is it still Rusty?
I don't know his name.
Rusty Smith.
I don't think I've ever
He
met
was
him.
a set designer for a while. He came in on our show. Yeah, he's really sweet.
You know, I think that's a cool job because they don't know how much they affect the actor, because being in there and like being chased by dread doctors while the whole scene looks like that, you're not even, there's no camera, like you don't even see the camera, you're just like you're in there, you're doing it, and it's an amazing job. I love it.
You just like put me in that.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
I was thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, it would be a lot easier, because I know when I go to like a haunted house, like I'm actually terrified.
Exactly.
So if they do that to you on Teen Wolf,
and it's the same thing like at school. Like there's the extras, they're actually like mean mugging us, and like we have backpacks and you're in school and like people are looking at you weird and you're like, what, why are you looking at me? You go back there, like it's because the lockers open, like everyone has it feels so real.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
you obviously do an amazing job, and I'm so glad we've got to know Mason so well from the beginning till now. I feel like you become such an important part of the show. Like, I feel like you are the new Stiles. I know that you said that you read for his scenes, but I really feel like that was probably always sort of their plan for you.
I had multiple purposes. Like Mason had multiple purposes in the show, and one of them was to just be like the connector to an audience, because he's the one who recognizes how crazy everything is and kind of reminds the audience, like, this is crazy. Like, you guys believe that? And then the other one is the voice of reason. And I think that's what's really cool. Like, when you always need that. You always need to see someone supporting another human being so selflessly. Like someone, because that's what Mason does best. That's what he flourishes at, is just helping others. And there's people like that exist. And I think it shows that relationships like that exist. Like finding someone like that cares for you, and Liam the same way, like cares for Mason. They die for each other.
I love that friendship, and it is like reflection of what we saw with Scott and Stiles.
Yeah.
So, and I really feel that way.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of like a mixture of Stiles and Lydia together. Like if Stiles had Lydia's brain, like they would be Mason.
Yeah, if they had a kid, they'd be Mason. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I'll take
That's the only problem with Stiles was he was all about the passion, but like you needed Lydia to be like, hey, don't be dumb.
Be smart.
But Mason is like, hey guys, let's all be passionate and not stupid.
Dude, I love your analyzation of Teen Wolf.
I have to ask you guys about Scott and Malia. They had that really awkward scene. She did not want him to go to the peace treaty meeting. And, you know, she did like an awkward wave at the end, which I loved. Because when you like someone, like you're super awkward, like you do things you wouldn't normally, like that's out of character. So I love that she's in that stage with him. But we also, like, I did not see this love coming. Like, as I see them together more on screen, I'm getting used to maybe there being something there. But, like, both.
That's why I like that they didn't kiss in the tunnels and that they're, like, kind of stretching it out. Because I think if it would have been, like, and now they're together, we would have been like, what?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk the plank of the ship.
I think they do a good job. Like, with that, it comes out natural. That's what I'm gonna say. I think it's like a natural progression.
I mean, so far it feels very natural, and I was in her shoes. I like didn't want him to go alone, but at the same time, I was like, she's not letting him go alone. That's not happening. And I love whenever Scott does get to the tunnels, and Argent tried to make the peace treaty with Gerard, but Gerard is. He's not going back from this. Gerard literally has to die this season. Like, he has to. Like, he's been after them for so long. Yeah. And it's like, he just wants to kill all of them. There's going to be no peace. But I like how when Scott got to the tunnels and Monroe was done with her speech of sadness and pity party, then she's like, should have brought your pack. And then Malia shows up and was like, he did.
Yeah, boom.
But then
I feel like Malia always does that. She just like waits out and she's like, I knew you would need my help. Guess what? I'm here. Boom.
It's on purpose.
That's why she's reliable. So that's why I can kind of see she's always been there for Scott. That's why I can kind of see them getting together now.
Yeah, I feel like if you have enough near-death experiences with one person, it's like, all right, me and you.
We gotta be together. We gotta do this. We're gonna make it happen.
Man, speaking of which, watching Parrish freak out looking at all the pictures of the dead hellhound.
What was that? And I felt like he was almost gonna attack Sheriff Stilinski.
Yeah, he's like, everyone's freaking out. He's seeing fear where it isn't, pulling his gun on nothing.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think Parrish, there's some crazy stuff going on with him too. Like he's having his own struggles. You're gonna see what's happening.
But he saved the day this episode, at least. He lit the faceless monster on fire.
He's doing his thing right now.
And he kind of disappeared.
Chart him up.
but the faceless monster, so he amplifies everyone's fear. Like, okay, I'm like super OCD. So if that thing was around me and it like amplified like whatever I was feeling at the time, I can only imagine. Like, like if you had an amplifier.
Oh my God.
To whatever you're feeling.
Come here and just put the two of you in my house and be like, Kristen, clean my house.
It would be my place is white. It is pure white. Wow. And so you can eat off my floor.
Man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can eat off my floor too because there's food left on it that I haven't picked up yet.
Sort of the opposite. Sort of the opposite. But I just can't imagine. I love this monster because it is fear itself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's most of the time, all of our worries, even why wars start, is really just because of the stories we're making up in our head, right? Yeah. It's never that the other person who maybe hurt, your brother, sister, mother, whatever, meant to. There's another side of the story that, like you said, Alana, needs to just be communicated. But it's really fear itself that's created by us, that like we are creating in our head, and we've talked about it a few episodes ago, paper tigers. It's like you think in your head it's a tiger, but at the end it turns out to just be like this paper harmless thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's nice to see that exploited in the show. Definitely. And sort of explored for us all to really come to terms with our fears.
Well, I've learned a lot just as a human being and just being around so many professionals. And one of the things that just as an actor, you cannot have any fear. But as a human being, I just saying as an actor just because we're talking about Teen Wolf, but as a human being, like, fear is the only thing that stops us. And there's so many cliche sayings about that, and people kind of just goes in one ear and out the other. But like, fear can make me nervous about a situation that I actually am fully equipped to do. Like, I already know the lines, but just because this invisible force is telling me that I might mess up. And then I mess up, and it creates
like
this
weird
thing.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly, and I feel like that's exactly what happens. Like when you have certain fears, whether you believe in spiritual things or not, like they come to pass. Like if you're thinking about a certain thing, it's gonna happen. Your focus is gonna lead you towards that, and
that's what you're gonna see.
Yeah, you're gonna see that, and
manifesting your own mind.
And that's what I feel like. It's just like. It's a force that's in the opposite direction, because we can all do it in a positive way, but it's just going that way.
I love the way you're saying this.
I love that.
That's what it is.
Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Exactly. No, that's so true. That's so true. So true.
Yeah, well, I am super excited about where things are going to end up with Mason in the pack. And I want to get into a little interview with just focused on you.
Nice.
On the show. So can you tell us... Maybe, I know we already talked about on set, recess is your favorite part, but maybe what was like how it felt filming. I know you can't talk about the last scene, but what it was like, because I know you guys are done filming. Like, are you guys? How was that? Just leaving set?
Oh man, it was crazy. I mean, I didn't have too many scenes while they were finishing. I remember like I had just like I had a voice thing. I just had to say something in a microphone, and it was very quick. And I knew I was gonna have like an easy day. And I just came there. I brought my friend, and he brought his camera, and it was just like I really was expecting first to have like an emotional moment, but once I got onto set, I stopped expecting anything, and I just. It was an amazing experience because I was fully present. I haven't been that fully present in a moment in a long time. And I knew it was because subconsciously I knew I had to soak this in because these were the final moments. And just watching everyone, you know, finish and people like clapping them off. And that's a wrap for Melissa. That's a wrap. And I was just like, wow. And I was more so I had a moment to myself where I was just so thankful because I did not expect this. I had one audition, and I knew about the show. It was really popular. I didn't think I was gonna get it. Honestly, I went there just to go, to do my job as an actor, and then I'm watching these people that have been on a show for 8 years like complete it and do 100 episodes and watch their finished work, and I got to be a part of it, and it was crazy. Like my mind was so full of so many things where it was a good that was beautiful. Like I had a beautiful experience.
I feel it.
Yeah.
You're describing it right now.
That's what it was. It was beautiful.
Such a beautiful end to the show.
I had to like save that because now like I'm tempted to feel sad, you know, because I can drive by it and it's crazy. And thinking of like the moments where me and Dylan would like ride together to set and like go back to his place, go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing. Like it was a definite vibe, and you can miss that, but I'm so thankful that I soaked up those final moments because that's what I think about now. That's how I remember it.
Soaking it up, being present.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
And so you said you
focusing on the positive. Like
that's what it's about. That's what I think I want to last me more than anything. I don't want to miss it like in a painful way. I want to appreciate it for what it was for me.
Well, you said your friend brought a camera, so are there some photos we're going to see later on popping up?
I'm actually gonna hit him up because he has some really good photos. He actually took the photo of everyone, the entire crew, because they needed someone to take a photo, and he just like stood on the chair, and he took the official photo for Teen Wolf, and it's pretty cool.
I love that. Awesome. So has that been posted anywhere
I think so.
yet?
I think so. I think so.
Gotta look out for that.
Yeah, it's like when they're standing in front of the cake. Everyone's in it.
I saw the cake.
Yeah. He took that. It was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. We're gonna miss Teen Wolf so much. I'm really hoping for the spinoff.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, just to see the story continue, and if people connect with it, because there's kids that have grown up on this show, and they've told me that, and that it's actually helped them positively. It's cool to have like entertainment, but if the spinoff can actually do the same effect and continue this like positive movement of kids just seeing other kids on camera and growing, and you know, I
mean, that's the time when you can influence someone.
Yeah.
Those years.
Yeah.
So the fact that these kids can be influenced at that time, and this is the show that they're kind of looking up to, that's the time to do it. So I really hope that it continues because it's something that's needed.
Definitely.
It's such a positive message, especially like current political climate and everything. It's just support your friends, support everybody, be there for the people that love
everyone.
you, love them back.
Exactly. Like look at Scott's pack. Like just look at what it was, like how diverse it is, and how everyone is just like they're together because of an interconnection, just a bond.
Right.
And I feel like that's how human beings should be. Like,
should be.
You know, not they don't ever comment on their differences ever, and they're so different. Like I'm human and they're not. Like there's so many things about it, but they never comment on it. And I just think it's awesome how everyone can live like that. It's possible. I've seen it, and people have experienced that. I just feel like if we all join that movement.
I'm game. Are you guys game?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are though, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's heading that way, hopefully.
So what's like, are you working on something right now? Do you have a dream project? Something you want to do? What's like the dream role that you want next?
I want to be on Marvel.
Yes. I can see it.
So bad. Like I want to be like either a dark character. I had so much fun playing Mason, and I even had like another character I played. It was like a sitcom, and it was just like uppity, and you know, but I want to play someone that has like a Theo, like that kind of thing. It's fun, like, and just something like that where I have superpowers or something. Oh my god.
I mean, they talked about Clark Kent this episode. It's
Love
like,
that.
come on.
Yeah.
What
And
up, DC Marvel? Pay
Dylan
attention.
was Clark Kent, actually. He was young Superman, so I think that was a pretty cool little plug.
Oh, he was, right?
Yeah.
I love that. No, that was a good plug.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of people watching you who want to be in your shoes. They want to come out to LA. They want to act.
Yeah.
What kind of advice can you give them that you've kind of learned along the way?
Oh, man. It's, okay, this is not a cliche. Like, this is something that I've had to experience to find that it's true, but the moment that you quit, that's when you fail. Honestly, like, if you're willing to do what you love to do, and as long as that is what it is, like, if you're doing it to be accepted or doing it because you feel like, you know, people will think you're cooler, it's gonna suck. Like, it's gonna be a hard struggle. But if you love it, continue, and regardless of the struggles, like, you're gonna grow, and that's if you keep going. Like, that's it. No matter, don't think of time reference or like when you're gonna. It has nothing to do with that. Like, you're gonna grow every single day if you're doing what you love to do. Day well spent, and just keep doing that, and positive things happen. There's no other way. It only doesn't happen when you stop, because it gets hard. It's not easy, but you can do it. Like, you can do it.
Oh, I love that. I was thinking about like my dreams when you were going through that. I'm like, dude, I need to work on that more.
That was a very Mason
super
response,
sweet.
too.
Yeah.
It was like, you can do it.
Do you see yourself in Mason?
Yeah, I feel like that's why I can bring his words to life, because I believe what he's saying. Like, I have those moments, and even friends that I know, like, that's what I love to do as well. I love to help people.
Just reach into the Mason jar.
Yeah, in the Mason jar. Yeah. No, I just feel like, because I've truly experienced like a lot of pain and a lot of darkness, and I've gotten through it, and I just can tell you from my experience, not because I have answers. I happen to have a very similar experience that a lot of teenagers have. A lot of teenagers experience depression and not being confident, and just so many negative things that they're just battling within themselves, and some of them don't get out of that. And I luckily had people pull me out of that, and I just want to help people, because I know there's a kid out there that's just like how I was,
Definitely,
that needs my help. And
well, I can see that in you. You're such a kind, nice, helpful person.
Trying to be.
No, even with your words tonight, like, I don't know. I feel like this was almost a little bit of therapy
like,
section. Like, I'm like excited about my dreams, and I'm just gonna keep doing it, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Mason said so.
You're like the opposite of the fear monster, and you're like the positivity monster.
Positive monster.
Yeah,
you can do it. A+.
Let's roll into predictions. What do you guys think is gonna happen?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
This is cool.
The lights give you
show
ideas
to let us know.
Wait, what do I think is gonna happen?
Well, you already know.
I mean, you know. I mean, you told us earlier we're gonna get some more Mason and Corey, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's gonna be
some
cool.
romance scene.
I think
we want some Maury.
I don't want to lie to you guys, though. I don't want to lie to you guys. It was months ago. I know there's something that happens. There's an encounter that happens. I don't know. I don't know. You're gonna see some more Mason and Corey. I just hope it's what you're looking for. I don't remember.
I hope so too.
I mean, it is hard to see Corey sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
No matter what you're looking for.
Oh
no, Mason can find him though. He has like
That's true.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I can
You
sense
always
it.
know.
Nah, it's because he sees.
Because you were
the
holding that
silhouette, the
fierce
reflection of light or something. He's very science with it. He should have just kept it like, I just sense you. That was smooth, but it really. He's just very smart.
I believe Mason. I believe Mason.
I feel like it's still like the
it's still that. It's
science
still that.
passion mixed together.
Maybe it's the cologne too. You can't hide smell.
You guys, I'm gonna make the prediction that Monroe actually turns to the good side, the guidance counselor.
Oh.
That's gonna be my mates. It's like, you're wrong.
Nah.
That girl, cray.
She's
Taking us all down.
I could see her maybe turning into. I want Gerard to not die. I want him to become a wolf really bad. I really want him to get turned just so he has to feel it. And it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because you're still human. You still feel what it feels. You're still you.
Yeah.
I love that.
I want that really bad, just so
Heck
he
yeah.
has to feel firsthand.
And it seems like Malia and Scott are definitely gonna get together.
Oh,
I think
they
so.
might get
I
it.
don't know.
They just might.
I'm hoping that our Hellhound comes back, Howin. I hope he comes back.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah, Casey Diedrich. We know him. He's like done other shows. Eye Candy. He was on that. And we had him in, and we really like him.
We wanted him, like, well, me and Dylan, like, as soon as he came here, we were like, oh yeah, he's our new best friend. He has to be here forever. And then he died, and we're like, nah, they gotta bring him back though.
They gotta. Well, I hope you do. I hope it's up to you, and I hope you bring him back.
Yeah,
You're like, what the hell, Hal?
I'm in the writing room, like, gotta bring him back. We're like, all right, Kylie.
Okay, one more question. Like, have you gone to the writers and like suggested something? I know that's like supposed to be a no-no, but like maybe in passing.
The thing is, I let Dylan do that. Me and Dylan will have like conversations. You know, it'd be cool. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. He's like, all right, let's go talk to him. I'm like, yeah, you can go talk to him. I just let him do it, but because it doesn't happen, like it's not our job. No, but we have say. Like, there's some cool things that, you know, if we asked for more comedic scenes with me and Dylan, and we got like a couple. Got a couple lines here and there, but it can't be a comedy while everything's going crazy. So you kind of, you know, I get it.
Yeah.
I definitely had some ideas though, but I just feel like if you start going down that trail, man, it's just.
Can you tell us like an idea that you had that you really wanted to do?
Oh my god! All right, two. Okay. I wanted to have Mason and Stiles. Well, Jeff actually sparked this idea because he told me that he was planning on having a scene between the two, Mason's asking Stiles, like, why didn't you take the bite? You know, like, why aren't you a werewolf? Why do you stay human? And Stiles would, you know, give him some insight. And I just feel like that would have been cool because, you know, Mason getting advice from Stiles would have been a cool scene. And I think a cool scene would have been cool with a cool scene would have been cool. Nice.
I'm about it.
With Parrish, you know, when Mason he fought Parrish, like the Beast and the Hellhound, and it would have been a funny scene to like, oh, sorry, what I did. Like,
like confronting that moment.
Yeah.
They do that in Game of Thrones all the time.
Yeah?
I love it.
I wish I watched the show. Don't talk, man. I
I
gotta get
won't
on
tell
that
you
wave.
anything.
I gotta get on it because my friend was just like ranting and raving because it just happened, and his mom was on the phone. She's like, oh my god, like they're talking to each other on the phone about how crazy it is. Like families are getting together.
I will tell you. I feel like there's similar plot lines happening.
Don't say anything. I haven't seen it tonight.
I'm not saying anything. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's how well written, like, Teen Wolf is. Like, everyone always says, always talking about Game of Thrones and how it's the best show on TV. And I see so many, like, plot lines, just the way they've written things, like, show up in Teen Wolf.
Wow.
Like, even right now, there's, like, a similar story, which I won't say.
That's cool. We have a Games of Thrones feel.
Some feels to it,
Game of Wolves.
Game of Wolves.
Game of Wolves.
Teen of Thrones.
Teen of Thrones.
All those. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. I see so many people tried to call in and talk to you, but I feel like the show was taken over by callers. I felt like I just wanted to talk to you, but you have to come back.
Of course.
We absolutely love having you in studio, Khylin. Thank you so much for coming. Where can the fans keep up with you?
You can keep up with me on my Twitter, Khylin Rhambo. Very simple, like I said, and Instagram, Khylin Rhambo.
Awesome. I love it. Lena, where can we follow you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl. And we are in season 2 of Relativity Podcast, the sci-fi radio drama. You guys can check that out at relativitypodcast.com.
Nice.
Awesome. And you guys know I'm Kristen Snyder at Cinematic Escape. Same time, same place next week, guys. We're going to have some awesome guests this season. Hopefully, Khylin comes back and joins us again. I think next week we're having Dylan Sprayberry's sister.
Nice. Ellery Smellery.
Ellery, she's going to come on, I believe. Lots of special guests.
And if anyone was wondering why we only talked about the one episode this week, is because there's not one next week. So we're going to talk about that one next week.
Talk about that for you guys next week. And shout out to Lyndon Ashby for directing this episode.
Yeah.
He's going to come in and talk about it, so I'm excited about that. Yeah,
dude, Lyndon, he did a fantastic job, man.
Total annihilation.
Yeah, I that scene with working with him when Dylan was getting beat up was just, I saw how dope of a director Lyndon is, because he all of that every emotion that you felt watching that scene was because of Lyndon. So that kind of puts it in perspective. Yeah, he did a good job.
Let him know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you same time, next place. Next week. Same time, same place. Hopefully, Khylin will be there too. Same persons. Thanks you guys for watching. Have a great week. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.